Lots of discussion about pain at the Jackson Hole Symposium last week. Jerome Powell said that curbing inflation will cause pain for U.S. households and businesses, while the Cleveland Fed president, Loretta Mester, used the word pain 9 times in her talk.
9 times.
9 times.
What does that mean for the housing market? Let's get to the bottom line. Good morning. Lots of new information to go over with you this week, but let's start with some of the staples. Mortgage interest rates are up to 5.8%. That's up 0.15% week over week and puts us up over 2.6% year over year. Purchase mortgage applications, the number of people starting the process, fell by 1.8% week over week, and that puts us down 23% year over year. So seeing a continuing trend in these numbers and something important to monitor on a weekly basis. In other housing news, the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, which gives us good data on home value appreciation, showed that home prices rose 0.6% in the month of June, month over month, which is 18% increase year over year. This actually shows a decline in the year-over-year reading from May, which was 19.9%. So we're still seeing appreciation continue, but not at quite the same pace that we have been. Now, Craig Lazzara from Case-Shiller said that prices are clearly increasing at a slower rate, but it's important to keep in mind the difference between deceleration and decline. Two very different things. Prices are still raising at a robust clip. And one other data point comes from the FHFA. They provide us an index of home value, but it does measure single-family homes that have conforming loan amounts. So this means it doesn't include cash buyers or jumbo purchases. The data there showed an increase of 0.1% in June of an increase month over month, which is an increase year over year of 16.2%. So overall, bottom line that what we're seeing here is home value appreciation is cooling, but still steadily increasing. Now, a big driver that's going to influence what happens with home values and the rest of our housing market is interest rates, and interest rates, as we know, are tied to the Fed, along with a lot of other factors. So, Jake, we mentioned the pain that was discussed at the Fed recently. So, what do you have for us? What's going on with the Fed, and what can we expect?
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Well, let's recap really quick as to where we are so far this year. So, the Fed has already hiked rates 4 times so far this year. We have gone from a Fed funds rate at the beginning of this year of 0.25%. And now, flash forward to September 1st, we are at 2.5%. So that then begs the question. The Fed is meeting again in September, and what are their plans to do? Well, let's dig into some of the comments from their most recent meeting. Jerome Powell said that curbing inflation is going to cause pain for U.S. households and businesses, but he added that he must continue to do that until the job is done. The Cleveland Fed president, Loretta Mester, was interviewed, and she used the term pain 9 times in her speech.
9 times.
So it's pretty clear that we can expect additional increases to the Fed rate, and that may increase our mortgage rates even further. Loretta also explained that she anticipates the Fed rate to exceed 4% by the end of this year, and then plans to hold it there for quite some time. It'll be important to keep an eye on the Fed and tracking their actions, because the actions that they take at these meetings have a large-scale impact across our economy, and most importantly to our viewers, the mortgage interest rates.
Yeah, absolutely. So important information to keep an eye on there, and we're going to see how the ongoing changes with the Fed influences rates and therefore the housing market. But we've discussed the housing market has already changed significantly compared to where it was at the same time last year. With changes, there are certainly some downsides, but there are also some benefits. There's always pros and cons. So one benefit for home buyers in the current housing market is they're much more likely to be able to negotiate for a seller credit. This is something that in the fierce competition of the last couple of years was almost non-existent. But with a little bit less competition, there may be situations in which a buyer could negotiate for a seller credit. Now, a seller credit can be used to reduce the upfront costs of the purchase by covering the closing costs or a portion of them. That's what they're most commonly used for, and that's certainly beneficial. But one other function of a seller credit that may not be utilized as frequently is to lower the interest rate and therefore lower the monthly payment. So maybe a property that is slightly outside of a buyer's price range, if they receive a seller credit and they can use that to lower their rate and their monthly payment, could put it in a price range that's affordable. So just something to keep in mind as the housing market shifts. There are different strategies that can become applicable in different markets. So we're going to continue to keep you updated on the ever-changing housing environment and economic landscape. So tune back in next week and we'll see you there on the next episode of The Bottom Line.